Hi, Kimberly here from Make Me a PT. I'm just going to run through your level 3 LAP, okay? So when you first look at this, it looks completely different from the level 2. So don't let that throw you off too much. I'm here to help you understand it. Our learners as well, what we do with them is we create little check sheets. So they've got things that they can just tick off just to make it really, really simple and just to make sure that they don't forget anything at all. So we do make it easier for our members as well. But I'm going to break it down for you anyway, because when you look at it and you're given all this information, again, it can really, really look really confusing, really overwhelming. But what we always say to our members is your success is our success, and we want you to, understand it and not feel confused and just enjoy the process of it as well, rather than just being overwhelmed. Okay, so if we just scroll down ever so slightly, you will see here that we actually have a case study this time. So this case study actually has 6 steps, and it does make it really nice and easy and really nice and smooth the way that it is done. And I will explain that. Just so you know, I'm going to just go for a full overview of the LAP. And then for each sections, I will be running separate videos for each just to go a little bit deeper, just so we can kind of keep it all on track. Okay, so you have a case study and you have 6 steps. So the first one is selecting your client. So remember, when you're selecting the client, it has to be someone who's healthy with no conditions. Okay. Then you will ask them to create a 7-day food diary. We have a template that we will give to you. We also have a cheat sheet so you know exactly what you're analysing and what to look for as well. So you'd ask them to create a 7-day food diary, ideally before the consultation, so you can have a look at it before, during the consultation. Then step 3, there's an educational activity where you have to create a poster. Again, I will run through that with you. But with that poster, ideally, if you could give them to your client on the consultation and you could talk through that as well, that's great. And then you have a modular summatives observation. So if you remember, modular summative means you can break it up. So for example, you could do your start, your main, and your cool down, or if you want, it can just be flowing. But when you're looking for your consultation, there is a checklist so you can see exactly what is needed or exactly what your tutor is looking for, so you have no room for error. With us, again, we do provide cheat sheets, and we do kind of give you like a bit of a dialogue and kind of how just giving you little prompts, really, because it's so difficult, isn't it, when you kind of go in and you get overwhelmed and you kind of forget what you need to say and you just panic and overanalyze. What we do is we break it down so you can just enjoy it. And then you have to create a periodized, can't say the word now, program, which is a 12-week program. And what we mean by that is the reason why you have to create a 12-week program. So you split it up into 3 lots of 4 weeks. So you have 4 weeks, 4 weeks, 4 weeks. Again, I will go into depth into that. And then step 6 is when you actually have to personal train your client, and the training that you will be doing will be from the program that you've designed. So as your tutor or whoever is, if it's myself, Adam, or if you have someone else, they will say, right, here's your plan. Can you teach this one for me today? And that's your observation. Again, this one is where you can break it down into 3 as well. Perfect. So if we run, I think that's pretty much hopefully made that a little bit easy for you. And then on page 21, you have a worksheet, and then you have another worksheet, which is your self-evaluation. And then you have an assignment, which is your poster. And then you have to recommend use of technology to clients. Again, that could be through your consultation. I'll run through that with you as well. And then develop a personal training business. So this is something where you have to show that you know how to create a personal training business. Again, we have cheat sheets, we have templates, we even have a template that's filled out, so it'll really give you them prompts on what to look for, so you don't feel overwhelmed. Or sometimes you can look at it and just think, oh my goodness, like this looks really overwhelming, we break it down so it's so easy. And then we also have your modular summative observation, training techniques and methods, okay? So what that means is if we just click over to, I'll open this one, if we go to page 37, brill, here. So this is in the book. So here, for example, there are 3 sections and we will give you a template. So when it comes to the observation, it's really clear and understanding. So you have to create 3 different types of cardiovascular. So that basically means tempo training, interval training, it could be fartlek training, cardiovascular circuits. So you have to, for all 4 of them, you have to create 3. So just create in your templates. And then we have 4 resistance training techniques, including a minimum of 1 muscular endurance, 1 hypertrophy, and 1 strength. Okay. So with us, what we've done is we've broken it down. So each of these we have put into a section so all our learners know exactly which one is which. So we make sure that nothing is missed. So here, you need to create 4 plans for these. So a pyramid, superset, drop set, partial rep, forced rep, negative reps, cluster sets, and resistance circuits. So you just have to create 4 of them. And then we have the flexibility. So we have partner stretch, we have the PNF stretch, and then we have the relaxed PNF stretch. Again, we have exactly a cheat sheet, just so you know exactly what you're looking for. And it is actually in your manual as well. So if you want to just have a little sneak peek, just see what there is in there. And for the observation, you will only need, as a tutor, we would only need to see 1 advanced cardiovascular. So although you write 3, I would just ask you to demonstrate 1. And then I would then ask you to demonstrate 2 of the resistance. And then I would ask you then to demonstrate 3 of the flexibility as well. So this is separate from your, when you're working with your client. So you will have 2 observations. So you'll have 1 who is your case study, and then you'll have another one just so we can make sure that you understand each of these and how to teach them, really. So I hope that makes it a little bit more easier, because I know that it can be really overwhelming. And then I'm just going to just come down into here so you can see. So it does look completely different than the level 2. Even I was like, so here, the word holistic assessment basically means it's all blended. Okay, because when you look at that, you're thinking the units are off, like everything's just not making sense. So just remember, all this is blended. All this is blended and as one, okay? If you move down, here are the unit specifics. So don't worry too much. They are 2 different ones. So for example, but we have a case study, which is our second step here. So it's your written, which is on your page. So this section here is your written, and it's on page 7 to 20. Okay. So if we just go down to page 7 to 20, let's have a look. Page 7. Perfect. So this is where it starts telling you what you need to do for your case study. So as we've said, select your client. Won't read through all that. I will do on another slide, another video. Step 2, analyze food diary. Exactly, this is exactly what you need to do for that. It's breaking it all down. And then it comes all the way down to, this is what's going to be marked. So this is what we're going to be looking for. Make sure that you've completed. So have a look at this. Again, for us, we have created a cheat sheet. So for example, if we'd tell them what to look out for, have a look at what needs to be changed as well. So we make it as easy as possible. So here is the educational activity. So during the course, you'll be asked to create a handout, leaflet, or anything that you want, basically, that it's got to be, let's have a look here. Exercise guidance, evidence-based. Yes, it's got to be within these as well. So this is for the nutrition side of things as well. So it's got to be National Good Food, professional diabetic bodies. So it's got to be within that. So you'll absolutely smash that. Then here is the modular consultation. Again, everything that's needed, we do create little cheat sheets, we do create the templates, we do give everything just to make it as easy as possible. And then again, it tells you here what you're going to be marked on all the way down. This goes down to about page 20, but this is basically for your case study. Again, it's all here as well. Brilliant. So up to page 20 is all for your case study. So hopefully that just makes it a little bit easier. Brilliant. So there, we've already covered all of this in the above. Perfect. And then obviously you've got to do a reflective practice as well, which is within the LAP. So that is specifically on page, let's have a look, 26 to 27, and it is worth 17 marks just for that one. And then if we move down, so this is where it is unit specific, okay? So you will have a theory paper, which is a multi-choice paper as well. There will also be a mock for each. So we're not just going to send you in for your exams without a mock. So we can kind of have a look, see if there's anything you need help with, anything that you need support with, then we'll help you with that. So that's your mock for your anatomy, and then you'll have your actual exam, and then exactly the same for the nutrition. You will have a mock and your exam. And then if we move down to here again, so this is your written and it's on page 29. So if we have a quick move over to page 29. Brilliant. So here you have to create another educational handout, and it has to be for any kind of commonly occurring medical conditions, which are here. So there's a list of them here. And as long as you make sure that within the handout, for example, it tells you exactly what to include. So it's causes, progressions, risk factors, impact on the lifestyle, benefits of exercise. So everything that you need for that section is here and as easy as possible. Again, we have created a cheat sheet, so you can go, here is what's needed, just to break it up and make it a little bit easier, because there's a lot of information in the LAP and it can be a little bit overwhelming. If we move down here, so number 4, so this one is on page 31 in the LAP. And it is for 26 marks. So let's have a look at page 31. Brilliant. So it's recommending technology to your client. Again, we have a really, really good cheat sheet that, again, it could be all sorts of things. It could be like an Apple Watch, it could be an Oura Ring, it could be MyFitnessPal. Again, it could be there's a lot that you can kind of choose from. Again, so you just have to kind of recommend it. And again, everything that you're going to be what we're going to be looking for is here. So there's nothing hidden, everything's there for you. So if you head over to page 31, and it'll tell you here, research and evaluate 3 technical developments in health, fitness and exercise to include the advantages and disadvantages to the client and the personal trainer, and that itself is worth 21 marks. And then if you move down, it says choose 1 technical development in the health and fitness exercise to recommend to your client. So you create 3 and then think, right, this particular one I'm going to mention it to my client during the consultation. And then again, you've just got to identify benefits to the client and how it will help them. Again, that's worth 2 marks. And then if you come down again, identify the data from the technology and how it will be used to enhance the client's program as well. So that is quite a good number of marks on that one. There's 26 marks for that. Again, we've broke it all down, and I hope that when you're actually when we're on these videos, it just makes it easier rather than just a lot of words on page that just don't make any sense. That was number 4. If you move down now is your observation for your training technique. So we've already done that. Just get back. So we go to page 37 in your LAP. Again, it's all here. So this is where you have to create 3 cardiovascular, 4 resistance, and then 3 flexibility. And then that's when we would, as the observation, we would say, right, please can you show me 1 advanced, and I would specifically say which one. And then I would ask for two. So I could be like, oh, can you show me a pyramid? Can you show me a drop set? And then over to the flexibility techniques, I would then ask you to demonstrate one. So there's two observations on that. And then if we look down, we've just gone to number 4. Brilliant observation. Oh, there we go. Wrong page. Move over. Perfect. And then the last one is the business development, which is quite big, but it's really, really, have a look, so it's on page 32. It seems like a lot. We broke it down, so it's so easy. You don't want me to be confused with it. So for example, if you turn to page 32, it's asking, oh, I'm gonna scroll down, page 32. Keep scrolling, it's right to the bottom. So at least you can see it, 32 here. Just quite easy to read the book. So develop a personal training business. So within here, you'll have to include an initial business evaluation, which is worth 14 marks. You have market research, which is 16 marks. And then you have a business plan, which is worth 56 marks. And exactly for each particular section, you are told exactly what you need to do for that. It does seem quite a lot, but again, don't overthink it, okay? It seems like a lot because there's a lot that you have to put into it, but with us, the business plan that we've created for you to as a template is really, really simple. So you can look at it, we've explained how to fill it in, and we also give you a template that's already filled in, just so you can have a look at it and go, ah, right, now I get it. It's not as hard as what I thought it was going to be, but it's just so Active IQ know that you know it, that we're not just going to put you into the industry and kind of feel like, oh my God, where do I even start? At least then you have a stepping stone on what you need to do if you do decide to set up your own personal training business. And then that is everything on that one. And then obviously there will be just here, but yeah. So it is set out completely different to your level 2, but hopefully by breaking it down, it just makes it that little bit more easier as well. And it's really, really great because we have like a doc drive and it tells you exactly what it is. We put in the cheat sheets and then we have a drop down where you can actually physically say completed, not completed, I need help. So at least as a tutor and a learner, we can both look at it together. It's a live document, so we can work with each other. I can then see exactly how much percentage of the work has been done. And then if they need any help or support, they'll obviously reach out anyway, but at least if they're looking, they can literally put a drop down of I need help. So I know to reach out to them as well. So I hope I have made this a little bit more easier to understand. I think it's just a little bit confusing compared to the level 2, but good luck. And if you've got any questions or if you want me to help you or run through anything with you at all, please let me know. If you want me to give you a copy of one of our cheat sheets so you can have a little look at, I'm more than happy to do that as well. But brilliant. Good luck.